It's gonna be good, it's gonna be great, it's gonna be better, I can't wait. Making my move, live for the day, sing like a bird, fly like a plane. Come spill with me, Jenny D. Jenny D. Jenny D.
Hello, my beautiful people. Thank you for joining me with another episode of Spill With Me, Jenny D. This episode is brought to you by St. Clair Health. So make sure that you get, if you need your health care, anything you need, call St. Clair Health. So I am just so delighted. I finally have Renee. Okay, so Renee, there is so much that we wanted to talk about. And when I first met you, I was like, this woman is a powerhouse. She does so much for the community. She's so involved in so many different things. And I just was like, I'm just amazed by you. And I can't wait to introduce you to the audience and talk about what you've done and what you're going to be doing and how you inspire other young women to do the things they want to do. Renee, introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I go back. I think I'm an old soul, and I just love to try new things and challenge myself, and at the same time, help people. That is my goal. I have always been helpful from the time I was a little child, and I still am. And it's important to me to give back and to see people succeed. That is my true worth.
Well, how do you think that came about?
I think it came about growing up in a small coal mining town in Plum Borough and having a mother that was very involved volunteering and then telling me I need to go knock on doors and ask for money. So she would belong to all these charities, and I would knock on the door like March of Dimes,
Right.
Leukemia and Cancer Society, and I would ask people for money. So it started at probably about 7 years old.
Wow.
And I guess I'm a little mini-me with how my mom brought me up.
Right.
But knowing everyone in that town helped me feel confident and just bold, and I would go and ask. And you're going to hear this message a lot. It's ask for what you want in life. Because
Yes.
guess what? People say yes.
Right.
So I think that's how it all started.
Ask for what you want.
Absolutely.
In life. I love that. And you know, like it's your upbringing and who you're around and the things that you see as a child, it kind of like goes with you as an adult too.
Mm-hmm.
So after, when you're a child and you see, your mom and what she's doing, you're like, okay, I want to get, where did you go to school? Did you go to school for anything or did you?
I went to high school, and I was brought up by an Italian dad that had old time values, even though he was born in the USA. I was the only girl. I had 3 brothers, and I was told from a very young age that
I know what you're going
girls
to say.
don't go to college.
I knew you were going to say that.
They stay home and they have babies.
They make a pause.
Yeah, and I do all of that and more.
Right.
And once you have a baby, you stay home with them.
Yeah.
And then my mom, she just wanted me to be a good housewife and take care of the family like she did.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where it all came from.
Yeah.
And I didn't go to college, but when I look back, I think I'm a little successful. So I went to business school, and at that time it was key punch operator, and I learned how to do that, and I was really fast. And I went to school for a few months and graduated top of my class. And the guy that owned the school was data processing manager at Levison Steel Company on the South Side.
That's amazing.
So every day I got up early in the morning and I drove, and I had to call my mom when I got there because, I drove from Plum Borough to the south side of Pittsburgh.
Wow.
So she would be up and waiting for my call every day.
Oh.
But the strange thing about that was this is right when the steel industry was starting their downturn. So I got this job. All my friends were in college and I'm making money and I'm spending it. I got paid weekly, a whopping $104 a week cleared.
Hey, that's a lot.
So it was gone quick because I like to spend money. But yeah, so I had this salary. They're all in college. And 6 months later, I got laid off. Talk about devastating.
Yeah, right.
You know, shot my confidence level down. But, you know, like I talk a lot about lessons learned. There was something right around the corner. And a lot of times we don't see that. It's just woe is me.
Right.
So right away, I start looking in the paper. I saw this ad for a company in my field, but it didn't tell me who it was. So I went for the interview, and it was Rockwell International.
Ooh, okay.
And what a great, great company.
Yeah.
So I started in their data processing, and again, another turn in my life. I got the flu after working 2 weeks. And it was the worst case of flu I ever had. And I missed a whole week of work. So they were going to fire me. So my first day back, I got called in my boss's office, and she was, well, you know, what happened? I was deathly ill. So I had to fight for my job to stay there, and then just prove to them every day
they don't
that
want
I
you to
could
come
do
in
this.
being sick.
Right.
But, you know, nowadays, like if you have the flu, people are like, stay home.
Stay home. That's right.
They don't want you coming in.
But, you know, my lesson learned was advocate for yourself constantly.
Yes.
If you're not going to do it, who is?
That's true.
And you know what? Believe in yourself. And again, ask for what you want. And I wanted that job. Then I was there about 6 months, and you could bid on other jobs. So I went to the payroll department. Never have worked in a payroll department. I got to cash all the executives' expense reports.
Ooh, okay.
I had a combination
to
the safe. And I found out years later
That's
that
a big
guard
responsibility.
had to watch me walk to my car every night because they were afraid I would be kidnapped, because people knew that I knew that combination with 50K.
Oh my gosh.
I never knew that.
That's something out of a movie. That's so scary. I can't even imagine, Renee.
Yep. So again, my lesson learned is go for what you want, even if you think you can't. Stay the course, even though the odds are against you. Yeah. And then I got pregnant while I was there, and we'll talk about that too.
Well, that's the thing. You know, once you start having a family, and it's like, you know, then you're like, okay, what do I do? Like, are they going to give? Because I don't know if they give maternity leave in every job.
Well, I have a story about that.
Oh no.
So I was the first
I love
at Rockwell International to get maternity leave.
Oh, look at you. How did that happen?
Well, I had a problem too, and I couldn't stand for a long time. Something with my ligaments weren't as strong as other people's. So I had this strange ailment, which I get a lot of strange things. So I had to be off work. And you know, at that time, this was new, and they waited till like a week or two before they gave you your leave, and then you were off, like, I think 6 weeks after that. So people before me tried to get off early, and they didn't like that. So they fought me, and I stuck to my guns, and my doctor supported me. So, you know, we had to go through attorneys and do all of that, but it was legitimate. And, you know, I stayed the course there too. And I got off, and was off like 2 months before I gave birth. So then I was off 6 weeks and tried it for a little while, and it just wasn't working because, again, my parents put in my mind that when you have a child, you stay home. Mm-hmm. So I stayed home, and I was a stay-at-home mom. Yeah. But that didn't last long.
Sometimes that doesn't, because you don't know how you're going to feel. Like, I'm like, I am going back to work. There's no way I'm staying at home. And I did the same thing. I was home for I was home for probably like a month or so. And then I was like, you know what? I got to get back to work.
Right.
But then I went back home again after that because I was like, I'm nursing.
Yes,
It's
yes.
like, it was just too much.
I was too. And again, but my husband worked, he was the first paramedic class in the city of Pittsburgh. So he was there for 43 years and then became chief. But at that time, he worked shifts and he was off Monday, Tuesday,
Yes.
Wednesday, and so on. And so what am I going to do? That was going to be a little hard. So I started a Tupperware business. And I
used to love Tupperware things.
I know, it was great.
What was it called?
Tupperware.
It was just called Tupperware.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
And now they're selling it at Target.
Oh my God.
But so I sold that. I sold Christmas Around the World, which became House of Lloyd. I became a supervisor. I hired 8 people.
Wow.
So I did very well in the home selling. Busy.
Because you were that type of person. You're like, yeah. So my parents did say, oh, well, when you're a mom, you need to stay at home.
Mm-hmm.
When you're a wife, you need to stay. You knew in your heart that you're like, you know what? I need to make a difference. I need to be a part of this world. I want to be, active in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And from there, God, there's so many here. I think there's about 18 or 19 jobs I've done. So then after all of that, but my lesson learned is do what you need to do to be happy while raising a family. I think that's so important. So adjust and pivot and be happy. And that's what I did. I love my children, but I just needed that little break.
Right.
And, love to my husband. And he's like, don't tell me I'm babysitting. Those are my children.
Oh.
So he is a special guy.
Yes.
So
you know what? He knew that, like, you know what? What they always say, a happy wife is a happy wife.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 47 years almost.
Oh, God bless.
Yep. So then I went into another part-time job with the Greater Pittsburgh Commission for Women. I was the administrative director, and I loved that job because it put me in front of the most powerful people in this city and region.
Oh my.
And that's where I gained more confidence, and we put on the Fitz Award for Women, which was an artist award. We had an art gala opening. We fought for women's equal pay and rights and all of that.
That's amazing.
And I loved working there. It was who I really was.
Right.
Really, it was. And,
you're a good advocate for women.
I am.
And you still are, which makes it so nice.
And I grew up, watching my brothers do very, very well and kind of competitive in sports and in business. And, one story, my brother was a very successful healthcare. He worked for one of the largest healthcare agencies in the city. And he would say, have you looked at your Google page lately? And I'm like, what is that? He said,
Google page.
You go to google.com and you put your name in there. He's like, you got pages of stuff. And I'm like, what is he talking about? So I went on. So our whole life, we had this competitive edge of whose Google page. Well, shortly thereafter, he passed me up for sure. And then we would compete when we would go out to concerts and we would see people like how many knew him and how many knew me. So we would keep track and we would laugh about it.
That is so cute.
They made me who I am today because I had to keep up with them.
Oh, yeah.
But they were all so successful. I was very lucky to grow up and look at these guys. But again, my dad's like, your brothers are going to school because they have to provide for someone.
Right.
So again, that's just something I grew up in, but you weren't holding me down. No way.
It's like, Dad, I am doing what I need to do and that's what, like we said, when you're around people that inspire you, empower you, that's what makes you do the things you do. If you were like around someone who they didn't work or they didn't want to do anything, they had no motivation, it would make you feel like, oh, okay. But that's what life's about. You find that person that inspires you every day.
And again, back to being passionate. I was passionate at this Commission for Women because I got to really see the inequities surrounding different people and things. And I want the world to be fair for all people.
Right.
You know, that's what makes me truly happy. So that was another success and lesson learned.
How long were you there?
I was there 2 years.
Okay. Did you see an increase or like the? Sorry, that was kind of scary.
Yeah.
Somebody's here.
My brother.
He's visiting. You
Yeah.
know why? We were talking about him.
Yes, exactly. You know, I think we're still fighting, but that's a talk for another day. I just look back and I mentor people, and it just makes me feel so good when you can, you know, be somebody in someone else's life that you made a difference. That's better than any paycheck.
Any little part that you can do for someone.
Yeah.
You feel good about that because you were such a giving, loving person. And I could tell that from the first time I met you.
Thank you.
I was like, Renee is one of those people that you want in your corner. And that's why I love having her. And I love having you here because you were able to talk about like things that you've like experienced that have made you into the person you are today.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's going to help someone out there that's saying, you know what, I'm going to listen to Renee.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about after that happened.
So then, you know, I went into Kelly Girl Services, which was a temporary agency, and they placed me at this place called Bishops Incorporated.
I never heard of it.
Which was a national company that sold draperies and fabrics and not blinds, but mostly drapery hardware, all of that. We had a workroom there. So I learned that business. I was there for 12 years and I started answering the phone. Hello, how can I help you? And I worked my way up to inside and outside sales. I did the marketing there. I got them in a national publication. I started a brochure. I went out on the road and started visiting our clients. And I loved it. And one day somebody walked in and said, "You're really good at matching up fabric and trim. You should start your own business."
Light bulb.
Guess what? 6 months later, I had my own business. And I was able to stay there for a while, but my mom was sick. She ended up passing like 3 months later. And she was like, "Oh, Renee, don't do that." And I'm like, "Why did you always not encourage me?" She's like, "Because I didn't want you to fail. When you were doing something good and you loved that job, I was afraid." You know, and she wanted to protect me.
Yeah, as a mom, she wants to protect you.
But, you know, that was a 13-year endeavor. I did business in 6 states, high-end nursing homes. I was close to $1 million in sales.
Wow.
I had 4 employees. I had office space on Penn Avenue across from the old St. Francis.
Oh my gosh.
And, you know, I loved it.
Yeah. And
we were everywhere. And I found people to do the work in Florida.
What did you call your business?
It was called Decorating Details. And then
Decorating Details.
Got so busy, I went to an LLC. And then my knees got bad and I needed a knee replacement. So after that, 9/11 happened. Again, I had a pivot.
Yeah.
But I had this successful business and won many, many, many awards because I was an advocate for small businesses and helping people. But if you would have ever said that I would own this business, I'm like, are you crazy? But I tell people, hey, you work in a pizza shop, watch everything they do. Ask your questions. What are they doing? How do you do this? Because guess what? Someday you might not only own one pizza shop, but you might be Pizza Hut.
Right.
You know, things happen.
Right.
So that was great.
Your mother would be so proud that you did that. And how many years did you do that?
I was at Decorating Details for 13 years.
13 years. Wow.
Yeah. 1992 to 2005.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
So then when COVID hit.
Well, there's many in between there.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, because that's 2005 and COVID hit in 2020.
Yes. But I'll make this quick. But my one lesson learned with the businesses, so many failures. Okay. Also. But honestly, to be successful, you need to see and feel failure.
Yeah. And you have to like, I know it sounds terrible to say this, but you almost have to not hit rock bottom, but fall so you can get yourself back up again.
And that's what makes you successful.
Right. And realize that, you know what, like you're only human. You can only do so much.
Yep.
But I love the idea, Renee, that you keep emphasizing to everyone is just do it.
Yeah, just do it.
If you have a passion, you have a love for something, what is stopping you?
Right. And I swear I had that saying before Nike did.
And
I could be a gazillionaire, right?
Yeah, me too.
But that is my motto. Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. Because guess what? You know what? It can happen.
Mine's always, you only live once.
Yeah. Oh, I love that too.
You only live once.
So do it. Just do it.
Yeah. I mean, what are you waiting for?
Exactly.
Life will pass you by so fast. And if you don't find yourself and find what really gets you up in that morning and just it gives you that energy. I mean, it's like, why even bother?
But there's a few more things here because I know we're probably getting towards the end, but I do want to say, while I had my business, I ran for office. I would go out and speak on the home rule charter for the county. So I ran for county council against one of the largest people around.
Yeah, girl.
Part of the airport is named after this gentleman.
Oh, geez.
So yeah, and I did that.
What a risk you took.
I did, because at that time women weren't really running for office, and it was hard. Of course, I didn't win, but I came in second after he passed. Then we had to petition all of the county council people that were in office and ask them to vote for you. But 15 to 19 people came out that didn't run the first time.
Yeah.
And it went down to 5 votes, and I beat some of the top prestigious people in this region for this position. And then it went down to 2 more votes, and it was me and another person, and that person beat me. But my lesson learned here is, every day that you walk in your office, they are making decisions for you, and you need to be part of that. Yeah. So that's why I did it. And then I was always afraid to walk in a room because I thought someone was talking about me. Well, guess what? When you run for office, they're talking about you.
Oh, yeah.
So that made me very strong.
They're making up stuff, too.
Yep.
You never know what's true.
Yep. And in between all of that, I worked for the Pittsburgh Business Times. I made many connections there. Zoltan Design, Director of Business Development. I was an author for the first time with Beth Caldwell. Yes. Empower Women, Stories of Breakthrough, Discovery, and Triumph. And my chapter was called From Coal Town to Uptown.
Oh, I love that. Cool.
Then I worked for Pittsburgh Magazine and the Pittsburgh Athletic Association. And then I ended up at the Pennsylvania Department of Revenue. Who would think? Like, I couldn't even add 2 + 2 growing up. But I ended up working for the lottery. So I supervised 26 people. I was a regional manager of Western Pennsylvania.
So when you say the lottery, do you mean the lottery that's on TV?
Yeah, the Pennsylvania Lottery.
Yeah. It's still on, right? It is still on. Oh,
yes,
my
it's
gosh.
still on.
I have not seen it in so long. I remember when you get your papers out and you'd have 6 numbers or whatever it is. And then what would there would always be
the wild
ball.
And now it has a Powerball.
Oh, come on,
these
Renee. I want to win.
I know.
Can you tell me the secret?
There is none. It is very safe. Like, I had to go through all of the process.
Yeah.
How they lock the balls up, because we all remember what happened back in the day. Somebody injected liquid into it to make them stay down and win. So there was the lottery scandal. But, that is all locked up. They are weighed. We are witnesses. There is no hanky-panky with that any longer. Yes. It's very,
legit,
yes.
Baby. It's legit.
Yep. Then I went to a women-owned architectural firm and helped them with their WBE. They didn't really want to go that way, but that's when things were happening. So we ended up getting 2 great jobs in the region, working on the airport, the new airport,
Wow.
and then Presbyterian Hospital, the tower. But we put together we vetted all these women in minority business to be able to put 100% WBE, MBE power group together. And we put them on our contracts because architects develop who is going to work on these projects you see out there. So we did that. So I love that. I was there for 6 years. Then I retirement. So I started decorating details.
I was going to say, you are not retired.
No, not by any means. And, just love it because I know that business. I love meeting people.
I love it.
And then during COVID, remember you asked me about COVID?
Yes.
I went to school at Duquesne for coaching. So I'm a certified coach. I specialize with executives and business owners. And that was all online. We were the first class to go online. It was scary. So my first class, I learned I had to meditate, like me, meditate.
You're like, I go. I don't have time to sit here and meditate.
My brain never stops. So I'm like, what am I doing here? Then the second thing, 5 minutes later, is I couldn't advise people. And that's what I've done all my life. I had to ask open-ended questions and let them figure it out. So,
because you were so used to helping people through things that you wanted to give them that advice, but now that you're being a coach, you were on that other side of like, you know what, I want to listen to you and see where your needs are. And, because it's so true. You don't know. This is the other thing I've learned too with doing a podcast. You don't know what somebody's going through.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't just judge them or like, oh, they're being so rude. You don't know.
You don't know. And it gives them a chance to bare their soul very confidentially. But the difference between coaching and advising is when you coach and they bring it out because they have it in there, you have it in there, that's more sustainable. So it lasts because they did it. You didn't do it.
Right.
So that's a great nugget to take away. And if you've never had a coach, get one because it is life-changing.
Because they see it from a different perspective. They see you, they see things, qualities about you that you may not see, or that your family, when you talk to family, oh, you're beautiful, you're this, you're wonderful. No, when you talk to someone who you don't know that well and they give you that advice, or they sit down and tell you, talk to me.
Yeah.
You're able to open up a little bit more.
And I would really like to end on one story. So during the coaching, I had someone that I helped. You had to coach from the minute you stopped. So I got someone to let me coach them, who was Kelly Commandor, one of my very best friends from way back at the business times. And she agreed to do this for 9 months. And we did a session where I take you through a journey of your life, your future self you visit with, and she gives you a gift. Then after we go through this journey, it can become very emotional for a lot of people. Right. It's not unusual to get very emotional and cry. So Kelly, her gift was she wrote a book and she authored it. So when we came out, I asked 3 questions. Why not now? And she said, Renee, are you crazy? It's COVID. I just started my own business and you want me to write a book? I'm like, why not now? And
why
I said
not
that
now? I love that.
2 more times. And guess what? In 6 months, she had a book called 21, W-O-N. And it was winning women, 21 of us, that pivoted and had success during COVID. That ended up being an Amazon bestseller. So there you go.
Yes, it is. It's so good. We're going to put that in the notes so people can go to that.
But that's it.
But you know what, Renee? I almost feel like maybe a movie needs to be done with you because you only touched the surface of the things that you've done and the people that you probably have touched their lives and people that have touched your life. Just meeting new people. I mean, wait a minute. We did the 50 over 50 legacy photo shoot.
Yes,
okay?
we did.
We were like, it was like glamour shots, but much more professional
Oh,
and better.
yeah.
You know, Tracy Montari is just
It
fabulous.
was wonderful. In this group, we networked together.
Yes.
And we're there to help each other and see each other and sing each other's praises.
Yeah.
But I laugh. I say it's my obituary picture.
Oh, geez.
Because I'm not one for taking pictures. I don't like it. So I actually had
There
my
are
daughter
beautiful
pick one
pictures.
out for me. And it's the one I'm like dancing with my arms up because
Yes.
that's what life's about. Just have fun
Yes.
and live it. Right?
Oh, my mom's song was always, she said, play this at my funeral, just dance.
Yes.
You know, that just, I can't
Yeah.
even think of how it goes. Just dance. Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus. Come on, Renee. I know
Yeah.
you're a singer too. She's a singer. She's
No.
a poet. But you know, we didn't touch on this, and I wanted to let the audience know about this, that you also were involved in a lot of nonprofit things. Cribs, what was it called? Cribs for Kids?
We make sure children have safe sleeping environments.
I mean, that's amazing, Renee.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we talk about the Brave Women Project,
Mm-hmm.
which is another, you know, nonprofit that really helps women just know that we're here for each other. We're not competing.
No.
This isn't about that. This is more about like us, you know, helping each other and saying, you know what, Renee, you should try this. Or, hey, Jen, you should try this. That's what I love. I love that group. Like,
And we were just at the food bank on Thursday volunteering.
Yes.
So I'm in charge of getting special projects where we can show our outreach to help people that are less fortunate.
Right.
So it's great. And then I'm also on Gwen's Girls. I'm the vice chair. And that's helping young girls stay in school, have summer programs, STEM. They're going to college. We just built a new building. We bought an old building in Wilkinsburg. We're renovating it. We're fundraising right now, and I'm co-chairing the capital campaign.
Wow.
So yeah, a lot of really great things.
Honors and achievements. Look at all your honors and achievements. I mean, come on. The Athena Award finalist.
Finalist Gwen with Gwen's Girls, who passed. She beat me that day. I sat next to her, and
Aww.
I'm up against Gwen Elliott. Come on now. So I was just honored to be sitting up there.
You know, I've never heard of Gwen's Girls, and I'm glad you brought that to my attention because that's something that, you know, we as women kind of have to mentor and tell other young women that, like you said, it's okay. You can do this.
Yes.
Don't settle for anything.
Don't settle. I love that.
You know, don't settle for your life to just be, well, I guess this is it. You know, this is what I am. This is what I mean, I have met so many empowering women that inspire me every day. And Renee is one of those people because when I met Renee, I was just like, so like in awe about you because I was like, oh my gosh, tell me more. And like, this was only like a little bit because, you know, with a podcast, we can't touch on this. I'm telling you, you should either write a book about your life. We can do a movie. Can I star in it?
You can play me. How's that? Because you're beautiful.
Oh, gosh. No, you play you. But I mean, so you're asked for what you want in life. Like, ask for it.
Absolutely. So Dan Marino, this is my good story. Okay. So my boys played hockey at Central Catholic, and, you know, that's an expensive sport. So I'm a fundraiser, and I took that to the 9. So I knew he was coming to town to play the Steelers, and Sunday or Monday night, I'm not sure what, but I had this all planned out. I got a big envelope so it would stick out. I put some literature in there, and I wrote him a letter asking him to support his high school that he went to here in Pittsburgh.
Right.
And I said, I planned it out that it's going to get there as soon as he gets back from Pittsburgh. He's going to have mail from his hometown. And my husband's laughing me the whole way to the post office. He's never going to respond to this. Well, Dan Marino gave $500 from his charity every year to be in the book for the Central Catholic tournament. And that paid towards my son's dues. Right. And he did that for my second son too. So I got Dan to do this for 8 years. And again, if you didn't take that initiative to ask, guess what? And talk to everybody. Joe Hardy, I went up to him one day. I was at Nemacolin, and I used to handle their account for 84 Lumber. And my sister-in-law was with me, and I said, I'm going to go say hi to Mr. Hardy. You're what? And I said,
Yeah.
oh, absolutely. I said, he's a person just like we are.
Right.
Like he gets up every morning and puts his pants on.
I
And
know, right.
it's okay.
He's only human.
And she just stood in amazement. And I went over and I said, Mr. Hardy, how are you? I handle your account for 84 Lumber at the Business Times, and I just want to thank you. I wasn't looking for anything. I just wanted to thank him for his business.
He
and
probably so
he
loved that.
Aww. He loved that. And I didn't get anything out of it, but I didn't plan on getting anything out of it.
How about a free massage?
I made his day. I made his day.
You did.
Because guess what? It's lonely at the top.
Yeah, it is. And you know what? And that's the other thing is, you know, you put people on this pedestal and you're like, oh, I can't approach them. Or, you know, sometimes they like that.
Yes.
You know, I even talked to a couple guys that were in the military. And I said, oh, do people bother you when they say thank you for your service? He's like, absolutely not.
They love it, huh?
They love it because they, you know, if you walk past them and they're in uniform and you don't say thank you for your service, I mean, they're fine with that because they understand people are not. But when you say it to them, they're like, you're welcome. You know, like it's just an awarding thing because you want to praise people for what they do.
Right, right. Absolutely.
You know, we're all kind of like just finding our way. And I saw this, actually my daughter sent me this and it said, you know, give moms and dads a break because they're learning as they go too. Like we're in this process together, you know, and it's almost like my daughter, it said something like we grew up together.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
That's great.
I never even thought about that, right? It's so true.
And I had children very young. I had all three of my children by 28.
Oh.
And we aren't given a handbook. Well, we had Dr. Spock, but that's really outdated. Now it's like
Dr. Ruth.
Now that's the other thing.
That's the other side of it. How to make babies. Dr. Spock.
You know, we're given the most precious cargo in our life and we don't know what we're doing. Yeah. But, you know, luckily they turned out good like yours are. And that's just wonderful. Yeah. But yeah, you know, wow, you can do anything, everybody. Just do it and ask for what you want. Those are my two famous lines that I love to tell people.
Right. And Renee's the one that came up with the Nike slogan, just
yeah,
put that down on there. But Renee, I so enjoyed this because I feel like I'm learning so much from you. All the different jobs, all the walks of life, all the people you have met, the things you've experienced. And now, right now, tell the audience what you're doing right now. So you're still doing the decorating details.
I'm doing the decorating details and the coaching. Had a great contract with, I don't know if I can say it, but I'm not. But really, I was one of their first coaches selected to do, you know, a big entity here in the region. And I was just like, oh my God, can I do this? So I went out and got a coach to make sure I was doing everything right. And I prepped for this. And to see this person, you know, really appreciate what we did together, it was so rewarding. And then I love the window treatments. I do a lot of universities here, a lot of corporate entities, and a lot of homes. So again, I know what I'm doing and I love people. That's a great combination. And I told Jenny before I came, I'm like, I think I'm going to be a travel agent because me and my husband are traveling so much.
Yes.
I think that's the next
route.
The next route.
Okay, we're going to have her back on again because I don't know. We're going to have to find out what else she's doing. It's almost like, what is Renee up to now?
Yeah.
We have a series.
Like, where is Carmen Santiago or whatever?
Where's Waldo?
Yeah.
Like, we are going to find Renee. We're going to find out what she's doing. I mean, today, Renee and I, we wanted to talk about that. We wanted you to know that you can do this. It's, you know, I was 50 years old when I started this podcast. You know, I didn't think I could do it. I didn't even think anybody would listen. And I'm having so much fun. And the best part of this is meeting new people and learning from them and listening to them and hearing what they've been through and what they're doing. And I'm like, you know what, Jenny, you can do this.
Absolutely.
If they can do, you know, you got to put yourself out there. I don't think, you know, you don't think you're intelligent enough. You don't think you're this enough. You know, you start psyching yourself out in life. Yeah. And if you don't take those risks, you might fail. But guess what? That's how you learn. By falling.
Right.
You know?
And like I said, failures. And one more thing, I do a lot of speaking also. And back in the day, I struggled in school. I really did. I ended up being Plum's Distinguished Alumni.
Nice.
So I guess I've done a few things to
Yeah,
qualify
I was
me
going to
for
say
that.
that's not doing.
But I do go out and speak. But early when I was networking, I was in this one nonprofit that was kind of a little uppity, and I felt like I never really belonged. But Catherine Baker Knoll, our late Lieutenant Governor, when she wasn't around in Pittsburgh, she asked me to represent her and give her speech.
What?
Yes, she did.
That's amazing.
But getting back to the networking group, some woman that didn't understand email put me on the email and said, "Oh, that Renee, she can't even speak the King's English."
Oh my.
And I saw that, of course.
Wow.
And that set me down a little bit of a rabbit hole, but not for long.
Good for
so
you.
when I speak, I'm very slow with it, and try and enunciate things. There's a lot of words I can't say properly.
Me neither.
I'm a little dysfunctional, I'll admit that, but wow, I was speaking for the Lieutenant Governor.
That's called jealousy. When you saw that email, I mean, to me, like, that just shows that someone's jealous. And for another woman to bring another woman down on, that's their issue, and that's something they need to work through, because as women, we have really come full circle, and we are ready to do the things that we may have thought, oh no, that's a man's job, or no, that's someone else who has master's degrees can do. But I mean, I have a bachelor's degree, and it's in broadcasting, and theater is my minor. And I always wanted to be on a soap opera. So do you think I can still do that?
Oh my God. When I worked at the Business Times and I left, they did a front page of me because I used to follow Guiding Light.
I used to watch Guiding Light.
I bid on auctions to go. And I got tours and I knew them all.
What?
And the time they were closing, I got to go through wardrobe.
Isn't it weird when you start talking?
They did a whole front page of me being in this soap opera, and there's a picture of me, and they redid me with all the cast around me.
Renee,
but yeah,
stop! I can't stand it. I can't stand it. Like this is one of my dreams, and she was already. So you don't know until you start talking to someone like what they've done and what they've been through, and it's like then you find this like something in common with each other, and you're like, you know what? I felt the same way. I've never felt like I was the smartest person. And I had to do a speech in the summer, and I thought, I can't do this. I was so nervous. I can speak in front of, an audience here, but when I'm speaking in front of there was probably like 200 and some people there. And I looked out there and I thought, you know what? I feel safe, and I'm just going to just be myself. And it worked out perfectly, I mean,
but it is scary.
It is scary.
And that happened to me on my Distinguished Alumni, and my husband's like, what is getting into you? You speak to everybody. I'm like, this is my high school, and these are my teachers,
Your
and
peers,
these are, I'm not worthy. Wow. That was
another
really,
line. We are worthy.
Yeah. And I had a little bit of imposter syndrome, and that time it really hit me. I couldn't eat my dinner. I'm like, what am I doing up here? I know. So it hits us all. Yeah. And we hear of all these actors and actresses that still don't feel worthy. Yes. And they get the imposter syndrome too. So.
Right. It's normal. And, but we should all and that's why the more we praise each other, no. Do not ever feel like you are not worthy. You are not enough. Yeah, you are. And
be kind.
Yes, be kind.
Be kind.
Renee, I love saying your last name. Michelle Farrow. She was here today to talk to you all about just do it. Be a part of your life. Be in your life. Try new things. I mean, you've tried so many things. Yeah. And look, you're still doing your decorating.
Yes.
Because that was your passion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and speaking and being a part of the community and nonprofits. Oh, Renee.
Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed this.
I've enjoyed this
and
too.
Please reach out to me. I love to hear from people. And if you ever have a question or a problem,
give them your website.
It is decorating-details with an S.com.
Okay. And that's the best way to get a hold of you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So they can message you on
It's
there.
going to say you want a decorating appointment, but just put the message in.
Yes.
And I'll get back in touch with you.
And I'll put that all in the details if you forget. But
that's all about the details.
It's all about the details. And then Renee brought me all this chocolate. I can't wait. And I said to her, there goes my diet.
Yes.
And I love this. This is actually a piece of chocolate, people. Okay. I love it. I'm so excited.
And a woman-owned business, Speckled Hen.
Yes,
Out in
yes. Another
Saxonburg.
one. Another one. Thank you so much. Thank you for being on Spill with me, Jenny D.
I loved it.
This was so much fun.
It was.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Take care.
Come spill with me. Come spill with me. Come spill.